Hey there, my name's Dave and welcome to another Guitars Ready Hero song tutorial. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to play Through the Valley from The Last of Us Part 2. This song was originally written and recorded by Shawn, and that's an amazing version. Be sure to check that out as well. For the basics, we'll just need our guitar in standard tuning and a capo on the 4th fret of our guitars. The guitar I'm playing in this lesson is a Taylor 414CE in Tobacco Burst. It's actually quite similar to the one you see in the show, although it doesn't have that special inlay. That's a limited edition guitar that Taylor actually did create in collaboration with PlayStation. Now, if you want to master your chords back to front, then be sure to head over to guitarsreadyhero.com to pick up my free guitar ebook. Or if you're fairly new to guitar and you're looking to build a strong and solid foundation, but you don't know where to start, then be sure to check out the Guitars Ready Hero Premium course and membership, which gives you all the guidance to play with confidence. I'll leave a link to it in the description below. Let's jump into the lesson. Okay, so let's start with the intro, and there's just one line of tab here, really nice and simple. We're going to start with an E minor chord shape. You can play this with your index and middle finger or your middle and ring finger, and that's what I'm going to do on the 2nd frets of the 5th and 4th string. Now, in terms of finger picking, generally my thumb will take care of the 6th, 5th and 4th strings, and your index and middle finger will take care of the 3rd and 2nd strings respectively. Ideally, they won't pluck any other strings other than the ones they're assigned to. We're going to start with the 6th string, pluck that and hold that out for one full beat. And then we have 2 notes we're going to pluck, the 4th and then 2nd string. Hold that out for another beat, and then we have another 2 notes we're going to pluck, the 3rd and back to 4th string. And that will sound like this. We repeat that through 4 times, and the intro simply sounds like this. Next we get to the first verse, and there's 4 lines of tab here. It's a pretty simple progression and simple chord shapes as well. We're going to stay on our E minor and continue with another 2 finger picking patterns. Then we go to an A minor shape, so we can just move our middle and ring finger to the 3rd and 4th strings and index onto the 1st fret of the 2nd string. We're going to be plucking the exact same strings, but now in the A minor shape, and our first note, our root note, is now the open 5th string. So that will sound like this. We play that for 2 bars. So the first line of tab. Now for the second line of tab, it's almost identical, except instead of an A minor, we are now playing a B7 chord shape. So from the E minor, you can keep your middle finger where it is, and then move your ring finger to the 2nd fret of the 3rd string, and index finger will go onto the 1st fret of the 4th string. If you want, you can also put your pinky finger onto the 2nd fret of the 1st string, although we are not plucking any notes on that 1st string, so it's not entirely necessary. We can just keep that 1st string muted. We're going to play 2 picking patterns in this B7 chord shape with the exact same picking pattern as the A minor. So that's it for the second line of tab, which sounds like this. The third line of tab is identical to the first line of tab, so 2 bars of E minor and 2 bars of A minor. For the 4th line of tab, we start off with our E minor, but we're going to be pinching the 6th and 3rd strings together here, meaning we'll pluck the 6th and 3rd strings at the same time, and then the rest of our picking pattern is identical, so 4th and 2nd, and then 3rd and 4th. So the first bar. Then we go to a B7, and we do the exact same thing where we pinch the root note and the 3rd string at the same time. So that's 5th and 3rd, and then 4th and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. So then back to another bar of the E minor, the same way we played it for the first bar. And then for the 4th bar, we just end by strumming the E minor. So the 4th line of tab. That's it for the first verse, which will sound like this. Now the rest of this song is essentially that same chord progression played in verse 1, but now strummed. Now we've been fingerpicking, so to transition over to strumming, we can use the side of our index finger to lightly brush across the strings if we want, or the side of our thumb, which is a bit more of a mellow sound. I use a slight combination of both, so when I'm doing a downstroke, it's the side of my index finger, but on the upstroke, I kind of use the side of my thumb. And that side of my thumbnail kind of gets a bit of a crisper tone rather than just a fleshy bit of the thumb. So that's how my strums sort of sound when I'm strumming without a guitar pick. So the chord progression is as you see below. 2 bars of E minor, 2 bars of A minor, 2 bars of E minor, 2 bars of B. The third line of chords is the same as the first line of chords, and then the fourth line of chords is E minor, B7, and back to 2 bars of E minor. Now in terms of strumming pattern, the simplest way of doing this would just be a down, 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 up. So a strum on each beat followed by a quick up strum on the end beat. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And you could play that once for each of the chords below. But what tends to be played more often in the recording is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So the 2 beat is skipped. It's just a strum on the 1, the 3, 4, and beat. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, like that. And we can apply that to each of the chords below, and verse 2 will simply sound like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. That chord progression is basically played for the rest of the song. There are times where we are just strumming the chord once and letting it ring out rather than play a full strumming pattern. You hear that from time to time. Feel free to explore it yourself and mix up that strumming pattern as you feel. This is a song with a really raw emotion to it, so I'd encourage you to mix things up and not just play the same thing again and again. I will be doing that in the playthrough at the end of the lesson, so it's easy to follow along to, but I do encourage you to come up with your own rhythms and strumming patterns as you play this song. Now the final thing to learn is just the outro, which is just the last line of chords, the E minor, the B7, and back to the E minor, and that ends the song. So now I'll be doing a full playthrough of the song with a vocal track on top for some context. Feel free to play this back as many times as you'd like to practice, play along to, and see how you go.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, and I fear no evil because I'm blind. Oh, when I walk beside the still waters and they restore my soul, but I know when I die my soul is dead. But I know when I die my soul is dead.
Thanks so much for watching. If you've enjoyed this lesson, then I know you'll absolutely love these other lessons too. So hit the link here. Or if you want to grab a copy of my free guitar ebook, then head over to guitarzerotohero.com or click the link here. Thanks so much, and I'll see you guys next time on Guitar Zero to Hero. Cheers.